Hey Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. We are so close to 17,000 subscribers here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. So if you're brand new and you love all the great Eagles content we do here, go down below and hit that big red subscribe button. We got plenty of Eagles news and rumors, including some Deshaun Watson craziness coming up in today's video. All right, Eagle fans, let's jump into the latest Philadelphia Eagles news and rumors, starting with Jalen Mills. He's gone. He's a New England Patriot. This is interesting, surprising, and has some bigger impacts than most Eagle fans fully understand. Let's go and just jump right into it. So Mills, of course, signed a 4-year deal with the New England Patriots just a couple of days ago. And you probably saw it on Twitter and said, oh, okay, whatever, moved on. A lot of people find this not to be that big of a deal, and yet it creates another hole on the Eagles defense that must be filled some way, somehow. The deal right now is worth about $24 million per year, which is a lot. You got $9 million guaranteed. And it's very easy to see why Philadelphia decided to not go ahead and re-sign the safety. But as I said, with Mills leaving, was starting safety last year and also a versatile player who could play on the inside, on the outside, could play cornerback. They do now have a hole that they need to go ahead and fill. Mills' versatility was important. I think that Philadelphia liked what he had, but when you see the money that obviously they were going to go ahead and have to pay him because the Patriots gave him a lot of money, it makes the most sense why they went ahead and let him go. I have no problem with not re-signing him. My question is what Philadelphia going to do at the safety spot? Because as you currently see, the Eagle cornerback depth or the Eagle defensive back depth chart, Ronnie McLeod is in there, but he's been dealing with injuries the past couple of years. After that, it's a bunch of backup guys. I mean, Grayland Arnold was a rookie from Baylor last year. You obviously have a guy like Kayvon Wallace, who was a rookie from Clemson last year. A lot of young guys who might need to go ahead and step in and fill and take in that role of being the starting safety in Philadelphia. Now, my thought process on who could go ahead and take over for Jalen Mills is Kayvon Wallace. Like, the Eagles drafted Kayvon Wallace for this. They spent an early 3rd or 4th round draft pick on him last year, and they put him in a couple of games, and he wasn't great. If you can watch the film, he wasn't fantastic, but he definitely has a lot of upside, being the Clemson safety, playing in a lot of big games during his college years, that I think could be transitioned well to the National Football League level in terms of being the starting safety for Philadelphia. I would not rule out the idea of them going ahead and drafting somebody, but the issue that I have with that is there aren't a lot of really great can't-miss safeties in this draft. There might be a couple in the 2nd or 3rd round you could look at, but I'd much rather go ahead and just roll with Kayvon Wallace and see if he can be the safety that Philadelphia drafted him to be. There was a lot of hype around that guy last year. Didn't get him much on special teams. Started in like one game last year, got hurt, and so you really couldn't see him actually come out and play. But year 2 Kayvon Wallace should be a lot more important than a lot better, I should say, than year 1 Kayvon Wallace. Here are your top 5 safeties in the draft in no particular order, according to everything that I have looked up and read. Trayvon Moehrig from TCU, Ardarius Washington, the other safety from TCU. Both of those are going to be late 1st round draft picks or early 2nd round draft picks. Elijah Molden out of Washington is easily a late 1st or early 2nd. Then you got other guys like Richie Grant from UCF and Javion Holland from Oregon. There are plenty of options, but there's no superstar safety in this draft. There's no Jamal Adams, and if Jamal Adams is in this draft and you look at him at number 6, that's a real possibility for Philadelphia, but there is no Jamal Adams. There's no Grant Delpit in this draft from LSU last year, and so you kind of start to sit back and go, okay, I guess it's Kayvon Wallace or bust, or it's Grayland Arnold or bust, or sign somebody. But as we've seen, Philadelphia, the money is not really there to go out and just spend money in free agency. And as the days continue to kind of click on by, as we get further and further away from Monday, Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, and then you get in the next week, most of those star safeties or the free agent safeties you would want to go ahead and sign are going to be off the market, and you won't even be able to sign them. So it's going to be interesting. I am curious, though, what your level of concern is with the Eagles safety position. Is it like not concerned at all? Like Thomas, Kayvon Wallace, Grayland Arnold, Ronnie McLeod will be fine, and type 1 down below. You're not concerned at all. If you're really concerned, you're like, Thomas, I don't believe in Grayland Arnold at all. Ronnie McLeod's been injured a bunch, and then Kayvon Wallace, what do we even have there? Then, or I guess you say, I do believe in them, is what I meant. Then go ahead and type 10. So 1 if you don't believe in them at all, 10 meaning you are super duper duper confident in the safety position, and of course 5 being right in the middle. For me, I'm probably more towards the 6 range, because I don't want to be super confident. I would love Kayvon Wallace to go out and turn out to be a really good draft pick, and it'd be nice for Philadelphia to have a mid-round draft pick that actually turned out to be really good, as Howie Roseman struggled in that category the past couple of years, but I'm not banking on it based on the history of the past couple of years and based on the play we saw on the field from him back in 2020. So again, 1 if you're not confident at all, or 1 if you're really concerned, 10 if you are not concerned at all. I think I messed that up. Your level of concern, 1 being you're not concerned at all, 10 being you are. There, I got to figure it out again. I'm a 6 right now. Let me know what you guys think down below right now in the comment section. Again, make sure you guys are subscribed to Philadelphia Eagles now because we got plenty more to cover. I think Philadelphia is just getting started in terms of offseason stuff. Doesn't mean they're going to make a big splash, but if they do, we'll go ahead and cover it here. So help us get to 17,000 subscribers by going down below and clicking that big red subscribe button. All right, so here's the crazy Eagles story of the day that, to me, is almost too hard to believe whenever you read it, but it comes from some legit reporting, and so we got to go ahead and break it down. So, get this. The Eagles are in on Deshaun Watson. Think about that. Just let that resonate for a second. No, that's not some rumor mill website being like, yes, the Eagles should trade for Deshaun Watson. No, this comes from the NFL Network's Jason La Canfora, who is, like Ian Rappaport and like Adam Schefter. He has his ear to the ground. He speaks to people inside organizations. And the quote I'll read you in just a couple of minutes is very telling on Philadelphia wanting to have a shot at Deshaun Watson, which creates all sorts of question marks. The first of which being what happens to Jalen Hurts if you were to trade for Deshaun Watson. Could he be involved in a deal? Do you put him as a backup? It would be a mess, in my opinion. But again, this is legit reporting and Big J journalism. Let's throw it up on the screen right now. Here was Jason La Canfora just yesterday. Quote, "Do not discount the Philadelphia Eagles as a strong suitor for Deshaun Watson. Too many sources with ties to ownership have whispered that sentiment my way for me to ignore. It's indisputable that the Eagles are monitoring the Watson situation closely and evaluating it. No one in that organization would deny it. Some in the Eagles brass would try to poo-poo the idea of their interest being noted by noting there must be at least 30 teams paying close attention to this situation. But my sense is that this is much more than an idea on the periphery." So that's pretty convincing. I would later on go ahead and say, Jeffrey Lurie is very much involved in this and that Lurie is kind of the leading man here in terms of trading for Deshaun Watson. Here's the take. It's very simple. Please don't trade for Deshaun Watson, Philadelphia. Please don't. Don't do it. You want to know why? He's too expensive. I mean, we're talking about 3 first-round draft picks plus probably like Fletcher Cox or Darius Slay included in that trade. That's a lot to go ahead and give up for a football team that has not been able to nail their first-round draft picks but needs to nail their first-round draft picks. The Eagles can be fine with Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying Watson's terrible. He's not. I think he can make the Eagles probably better than what they're going to be this year with Jalen Hurts. But long-term, I think Jalen Hurts can go ahead and be great. I feel very confident that Jalen Hurts can go ahead and be the quarterback of the future. Is he going to turn out to be Deshaun Watson? Who knows? Can he turn out to be better than Deshaun Watson? Maybe, but there's no guarantee. Why spend multiple first-round draft picks trying to get another young quarterback when you had a good young quarterback in Carson Wentz you didn't build well around? And plus, Jeffrey Lurie already said he wants to build around Jalen Hurts. That was the news story a couple of weeks ago, where it's Jeffrey Lurie has said, build around Jalen Hurts. So why would you say build around Jalen Hurts and then turn right around and trade a massive sum of draft capital for a guy like Deshaun Watson? Again, nothing against Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson's a great quarterback. I think a lot of football teams, probably like the article said, 30 or more, would like to upgrade their current quarterback situation with Deshaun Watson. But the price is going to be too much, and Philadelphia has had too many quarterback controversies and carousels to even wrap your brain around. So the better idea is to sit back and go ahead and just roll with Jalen Hurts, who, again, I said can be great. I think Jalen Hurts' upside, his glass ceiling, all the way up at the top, is probably like Russell Wilson. I think the low-level tier is probably, Robert Griffin III, but he's not going to be Robert Griffin III. He's been a lot healthier than Robert Griffin III throughout his year, and I think trending towards the Russell Wilsons of the world is a better player comparison, and I'll live by that, and I'll call it out as I see it until he starts to struggle. But I think with the right offensive line, the right running game, actually weapons on the outside, which he didn't have last year, this offense can be really good with Jalen Hurts, and they drafted him in the second round for a reason. I was against it years ago, but with Carson Wentz's departure, whether we like it or not, Hurts is the guy. Roll with Hurts, and please just go ahead and stick with him. Come on. What do you guys think? I'll leave it up to you guys. Should the Eagles trade for Deshaun Watson? Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no. I'm very curious to see what people think about this, because I feel like a lot of people will be like, yeah, trade for him, without really thinking of the ramifications and the cost of trading for Deshaun Watson, plus the money. A massive contract too. So I'm out on this. I would be typing N down below for no, but I am very curious what you guys think. So again, let me know what you guys think. Y down below for a yes. N down below if you're just like, no, don't even do it. Please just stick with Jalen Hurts. All right, before we keep going, I know you guys are trying to get in on this BetUS March Madness craziness as we get closer and closer to the first round of the tournament. You want to win some money, we're going to help you out. And we're going to give you a free Eagles jersey if you sign up. So it's very simple. All you got to do is go to chatsports.com/EaglesBet. use the promo code Eagles125 when you put down $100 or more for their new deposit for new customers, and then place a bet on March Madness. It's that simple. Then just email us showing that you went ahead and placed a bet and that your account is official, and we'll review it, eagles@chatsports.com, and then we'll send you your pick of jersey, whether it's a Jalen Hurts one, because he's going to be the quarterback in 2021, hopefully, or Miles Sanders, maybe a safer one. Both in midnight green, and both would come in whatever size you want. Again, you get to pick between Hurts or Miles Sanders. All you got to do is chatsports.com/EaglesBet. Use that promo code Eagles125 for that 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. Be a new BetUS customer, put at least put a $100 deposit down, and then of course place your bet on a March Madness game. Confirm with the email. Send us a little screenshot, and we'll go ahead and confirm that with you, and then get you your jersey as quickly as possible. Eagles@chatsports.com is the email if you have any questions. I put my money down on Baylor. I put a bet on them just a couple of days ago. I know they dropped to plus 500. That's more money for us because I think they're going to do well. I like their draw. So I'm betting on Baylor, my alma mater, but you guys can go ahead and bet on whatever team you want. I would stay clear of Oklahoma. I think Baylor has a much better shot, but that's just, my thoughts. So you don't have to go ahead and listen to me. Again, any questions about setting up your account or just in general, email us, eagles@chatsports.com. Okay, a couple of other news here to go ahead and jump into. The Eagles have extended Brandon Graham. This is a couple of days old, but I still want to go ahead and react to not only this, but some of the other things that Philadelphia did over the past couple of weeks or past couple of days or did not do. So they're giving Brandon Graham about $20 million over the next 2 seasons. It's a backloaded contract, so they save money this year against the cap. They're probably really close to being under the cap, but it's going to be heavier going forward in 2021. This is a deal that basically says, Brandon, we appreciate what you have done, and we appreciate how great he has been over the past couple of years. John Clark from NBC Sports Philadelphia was the one who was, I think, texting back and forth with Brandon Graham, and he has a good quote on his Twitter account right now. Quote, Brandon Graham told me he hopes to finish his career with the Eagles, and he believes with this contract extension today, he will be able to, quote, he will be able to. Quote, just happy to be back to work. BG is now signed for the next 2 seasons. Again, this is great. I think he deserves this deal. NBC Sports also has a write-up with the more details on the money, which is interesting to go ahead and look at. Quote, Eagles will pay out most of Graham's money on the new deal in a signing bonus, according to a source, which will prorate over the length of the contract, spreading out the cap hit. The Eagles will use dummy, voidable years to spread out the hit further. Graham was scheduled to have a base salary of $13 million this season, but now it will likely be lower. Again, there's no real take on this. Brandon Graham deserves the money. He's the best pass rusher the Eagles have had in the past 10 years, and he's a guy who's been consistently not only a leader in the locker room, but a leader on the football field. Under his first Pro Bowl in 2020, he should have been to more during his career, but you'll never be able to forget his strip sack of Tom Brady in the fourth quarter Super Bowl 52, and the greatness that continues to ensue after that. I am all for Brandon Graham getting his money, and you guys should be too. I mean, thumbs up the video right now for BG getting paid because he deserves it. He's going to be a leader, and hopefully he'll mentor the younger guys like Josh Sweat, maybe Derek Barnett, and then perhaps even a draft pick if they spend one on a pass rusher. But drop a like for BG getting paid. Okay, let's roll through quickly some final news here on what happened this week with Philadelphia. Yesterday, you probably saw this tweet from NBC Sports Bay Area's Matt Maiocco, and that is that the Eagles are basically giving Marquise Goodwin, back to the 49ers. Quote, per team's terms, the Marquise Goodwin to Eagles trade last year, Goodwin reverts back to the 49ers, the NFL announced Tuesday. The 49ers must send the Eagles their original 7th-round pick this year. San Francisco now has 9 draft picks, so the Eagles add an extra 7th-round draft pick. They don't have to pay Marquise Goodwin's $4.5 million cap hit this year, so it's kind of a win-win. I mean, the guy didn't play last year. He wasn't really going to play much this year, in my opinion, based on potentially the Eagles drafting somebody at number 6 overall. So they get an initial draft pick. They save on the cap hit, and everybody's happy between the Niners and the Eagles. Some other news that happened this past week: the Eagles lost Rudy Ford to the Jaguars, signed a 2-year deal to be a cornerback for them. Not a big loss here. He was obviously going to be a special teams guy. Always really was a special teams guy. A good special teams guy, but Philadelphia didn't have the money to go ahead and re-sign him. So Ford goes ahead and leaves. That was not a big surprise and not a big loss, in my opinion. There was rumors they were in on safety Josh Johnson, but he, of course, is gone and no longer on the market. It looks like he got, $33.75 million in Cleveland, so you wouldn't have been able to afford him anyway. So not a big loss there, but obviously was a target just based on the fact that the Eagles went ahead and lost out on Jalen Mills. Nelson Agholor was rumored. We talked about that earlier this week, potentially coming back to Philadelphia. He worked out with Jalen Hurts over the past last week, I think. He signed with New England. Again, got a $26 million deal, 2-year. I mean, a lot of money for Nelson Agholor, who earned it. And he signed a 1-year deal with the Raiders last year, kind of a prove-it deal, and he did. And he has 7 touchdowns. But he was way out of the Eagles' price range anyway and probably didn't want to come back. So no longer an option, and to me, not a big loss. And finally, the interesting thing here is that the Washington football team signed Ryan Fitzpatrick to a 1-year, $10 million deal. Is he going to be the backup? Is he going to be the starter? Is he going to compete with the draft pick that they spend on this year? I have no idea. But Fitzpatrick historically has just torn the Eagles apart, more like Jim Schwartz's defense. So we'll see what he does with Washington. But I think both the Giants and Washington have had an impressive offseason, and it will be interesting to see what happens with Philadelphia versus them as we continue to go ahead and move forward. Want to finish on that, update you guys on some of the moves here that will affect Philadelphia. No big signings yet, but we'll keep our eyes peeled here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. And of course, we will be covering everything. So make sure you guys subscribe to help us get to 17,000 subs, as we are your one-stop shop for everything regarding the Eagles. And hopefully you appreciate all the breaking news coverage we have here on the channel and will continue to provide in the coming days and weeks. Ultimately, have for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm your host, Thomas Mott, signing off for the rest of your day.